Hey guys, welcome to this week's community recap on THORChain. The date is Sunday, December 14th. Let's get right into it, you guys. So let's go check out some metrics here. We had some huge swap volume on THORChain. Yesterday, we had over $200 million. Today, we're looking to have another beautiful day. Right now, estimated end of day is about 143 million. And look at the income streams over here. That marketing budget, I really love that. It's $11,000. Yesterday, we got fantastic. At the time of this video, the APY is 71.57%. which is just absolutely bananas, guys. So, if you're interested in getting some of this yield, this might be a really great time to bond your rune. So, guys, maybe check out runebond.com. It's very easy. All you have to do is choose a node, request a whitelist, and you can bond your rune. And speaking of node operators, we want to do a shout out to a specific one, RuneTard. We had a new node operator come online this week. And that's what RuneTard does, right? He teaches new node operators his own competition. And for those who don't know, that makes sense because THORChain gets stronger when we increase the decentralization of the network, right? So shout out to RuneTard. And if anyone in there has some technical skills, Kubernetes, or you're interested in learning, please reach out to us. We have lots of great guides. We would love to train people on how to be node operators and get you some bond providers as well. And if you know someone who's technical, maybe suggest it to them because we are interested in increasing the decentralization of this network. Guys, we're going to move on here to RuneScan here. So check out STO, right? STO, 85 million volume this week. And so for those who are wondering why these numbers are different, so this is the daily volume. This is volume specific to interfaces. And a lot of this volume is also arbitrage, right? So that's why this is going to be always going to be a lower amount because arbitragers are going against swaps. But this is absolutely fantastic swap volume. And you can see this is the correct way, the correct thing we should have done. STO is fantastic. There is no affiliate fee. Let's go to it right now, actually. No affiliate fee. So you're just going to be paying the min basis swap fee, so which is about 0.20%. This site is still in beta, guys. So if you encounter any bugs whatsoever connecting any of these wallets or anything like this, make sure to check the email down here, this report bugs right here. A lot of you have already been doing that, and so many bugs have already been fixed. But there's going to be countless nuances and edge cases just dealing with all these different wallets, all the different assets. So keep submitting those emails if you encounter bugs. You are making this site even better. And a huge update is going to go live, I think, next week. So very exciting. Moving on, guys, we had some spaces this week. We had Chad Barraford on our Thursday space. And there was a lot of great things that were talked about on the space. He talked about limit swaps, how his patch is going to go live Q1 of next year. And assuming if that goes well and there's some stability, that'll be necessary for rapid swaps to come online. But let's listen to this recording. He mentions something. We're going to talk about this later. V6, router V6. So we're going to go to the spot here. It's approximately right there. Let's listen in, and we're going to speed it up for brevity here.
I forget the hell I was even talking about. Where was I going with this? Oh, router V6. Yes. Yep. Yes, so it gets some capabilities in that. What's interesting that I sincerely doubt, and maybe I'll be eating my words, but that this will probably be the last change to the router. To be honest with you, we don't really have much of a need to change it after this point because it supports everything we could want to support. In fact, hypothetically, you could even get rid of the router. That's totally possible. The primary reason why we even created the router to begin with is that ERC20s don't actually have memos in their transactions, and so you couldn't swap the THORChain with ERC20, initially in the early days. Because there's no way of embedding a memo with the transaction. And so we kind of wrapped ERC20 transactions in our own little router to create a memo in addition to the transfer itself. That was the original reason why we even created the router to begin with on day one. But with memoless, in theory, I'm not saying we should do this or this is going to happen. I would even argue we shouldn't do this, to be honest with you. But in theory, you could get rid of the router now that we have memoless. That way you could all the swaps and transactions and everything you could possibly want to do on THORChain is done through a memoless transaction, a memoless way of interfacing rather than embedding your intent in the transaction itself. So you could actually even remove the router in a theoretical future. Whether we actually do that or not, I doubt it, to be honest, but it is kind of interesting.
That was a very important update on the V6 router, you guys, and we're going to touch on that later. But I want to shout out to the community here. These spaces on Thursday, these are for you, right? And we answered a lot of questions from the community, and we do these weekly. It is the holiday season, so we're probably going to be taking a break for the next 2 or 3 weeks. But anyone can ask questions on these spaces. These are your resources, guys. We had another space as well the day before on Saturday, and this was the Unstoppable guys. And again, these guys are the ones that are in charge of the main STO interface. And for those who don't know, STO means swap.thorchain.org. And this was a great space. Some important notes here. They clarified the STO is going to be completely open source. And so anyone can take the code and fork it. And additionally, you can add your own affiliate fee. So what this means is if you're part of a layer one community, maybe XRP, Tron, Binance Smart Chain, Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever, you can make your own forkable version, make an affiliate fee, and you can promote it to your own community to give them the power of permissionless layer one real swaps, the very thing that THORChain is trying to do from the very beginning. This was a great space, guys. Another thing that was talked about is the treasury decided that on the DEX aggregation, THORChain and my protocol are going to be the only routes. So there won't be any other decentral, DEXs like near intense and things like that. Maybe that's subject to change, but that is the information we currently have. And lastly, a lot of questions are around why did the Unstoppable devs want to help THORChain? Why did they want to be the team? And they had a really great answer to this. Basically, the reason why the Unstoppable devs were really attracted to THORChain is they said THORChain was the only, one of the only protocols that delivered a true product that is actually permissionless and decentralized, and that the community has demonstrated they are willing to uphold that ethos even under immense pressure. And that's a head nod, especially to our node operators. So this was a great space, you guys. Additionally, if you have any other questions, if you don't want to listen to a space, Kenton made a wonderful article. He went and crowdsourced every single question people had about the Unstoppable devs. And you can see this is a very huge article. He spent 2 days working on this. So please check this out if you have any questions and respect the work he did, because he put a lot of time into this. It should have the answers to your questions here. We had some good news, you guys. Rune got added to MEXC, which is fantastic. That's another route. And remember, people who are new to this industry, that's how they get their start, unless they have someone directly helping them. They start on a centralized exchange, they get Rune. So this is fantastic. Thank you, MEXC, for adding Rune. Thank you very much. And, this is the first step. We tell them, get your Rune off a centralized exchange, of course. They have to learn about self-custody. Of course, then they can learn about bonding their Rune. But this is just another route for people to get exposure to the asset. So awesome news there. This is the article for the Router V6 that Chad Barraford was talking about. And again, I apologize for the white background. I can't make this dark. I would have done that for you guys. I hope I didn't blind anybody. But this is a very great article. And this is one of those changes that's not sexy. It's one of those that under the hood, the guts, right? That just make THORChain even harder, even better. Excuse me. And this is just a fantastic thing. This is going to make everything better for integrators. It makes everything smoother. And you can pause at any point during this video and check it out. There's also a great juxtaposition down here of the main differences and the conclusion. But THORChain really is becoming the hardened infrastructure of the real layer one base liquidity. This is going to be a fantastic upgrade. Very excited to see this go live. Should be Q1 of next year. All right, guys, and this concludes this week's community recap. We want to make a shout out to the community. What information are you interested in? What do you want us to talk about? Do you want us to talk about maybe Rujira, maybe Memolist, maybe you'd like a guide on bonding your Rune? What do you want us to prioritize? This is a community shout out. We will do whatever you want us to do. If there is new information that's going to be happening the next week or thereafter, we will make additional videos. It is the holiday season, so that is subject to change. But if something does happen, we will make content. We will make another thing. But count on these to become a regular thing starting next year. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's update. We'll see you next time.